The United States now has more unemployed people than job openings, so hold on to your job. Don't let some hustle and grind influencer tell you that you need to always move on. I would probably stick with what you got for right now, unless you already got an offer on the table. This is the first time there have been more unemployed people than job openings since 2021. I wanted to call special attention to healthcare jobs, which have fallen to their lowest level of openings since 2021 as well. Healthcare as a sector every decade always grows because the United States population is aging and we need more people to care for our aging population. The healthcare sector has accounted for more than 40% of all job growth over the last 3 years, largely because of the pandemic. So buckle up and hold on, I guess. A lot of manufacturers say their demand is worse than it was during the Great Recession. That should be an indication to you of what tunnel we're heading into right now. It's really, really dark. Not to be a budget freak, but you should probably shore up your spending and cut corners where you can. Because food prices are about to soar. Prices of a lot of things have already soared, but you're gonna get food prices if you haven't seen them already. And you do not want to be looking for a job when you're competing with 13 different AI bots and 40 people with AI algorithms to apply to 100 jobs per second. Most of which are fake, so yeah!
Those unemployment numbers you guys are seeing, yeah, it's kind of all kept. The Great Depression had around 25% of the people that were unemployed. And this is when things get a little bit spicy. Now, per the United States government, they have been saying that employment rates are roughly about at 4%. Well, bestie, it's 15 to 25%. Now, economists may say it depends on duration, but then when you already exceed, 15%, and then a majority of like the tabloids and even the news articles and the headlines are reporting that, the current unemployment rate is 4%, but per studies externally, it's actually at 7%. So we are in a depression. Not only has this systemic issue been damningly awful when it does come to, just for example, release the files. Bro, they can't even tell us how many of us are actually unemployed or not. Statistically, at least per my simulations and what I've ran and came across, is about 77% of, Americans are considered in poverty. Now, it's very scary to hear those numbers and to think like, hey, everything's going to be okay. And no, it's not going to be okay because the public is unaware, but you are now. I need you guys to take this very seriously, even though I'm not. This is beyond a systemic issue. This is an issue on just the fact that literally criminals are taking your children, they are lying to you, and then they're not even telling you how bad you're suffering. It's the poor working class. Let's be honest. Going to school, getting a job is not enough to survive in this world. Literally this world. Now, we can do this peacefully, and I do have a solution, and I would love to share it with you guys, and I will be sharing it very soon. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you are in the United States, you are officially in a depression. It's not the Great Depression. What I like to call it is the silent depression. I really want to focus on this comment. So we're not seeing soup lines. If anything, you're seeing job fairs that are full. You're seeing job applications or job posts that are full. You can't find a job.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics has just confirmed that there are more people who are unemployed than jobs available. Remember, the Bureau of Labor Statistics had their commissioner fired a month ago because she gave a jobs report that was unfavorable to the Trump administration. And remember, he walked into his office with a big old poster board talking about, oh, these are the real numbers. We have so many jobs. That was all fake. It was orchestrated by Biden. This is not real. The economy is great. I am the man. Supposedly, he hired new people who would give him more favorable numbers. And they still came back with this report. There is absolutely nothing about this administration that is going well. There is no way you can convince me that we are great. There's no way you can convince me that we're not even owning the libs at this point. Hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of American lives have been ruined because of these policies, because of the things written in the big beautiful bill, because of Doge. Jobs have disappeared. They are drying up. People do not have money. The job market right now is looking a lot like the president's physical health. Fragile. But I'm sure this man is going to get in front of a camera, probably today, and tell everybody that gas is $2. I don't know how anyone has the mental bandwidth to believe whatever this man is saying. We are on a high-speed train with no brakes, and we are heading for a cliff. This is where capitalism begins to eat itself. These are the moments where people can say that this system does not work anymore. We have to change a lot of things, and we have to change them now because people are struggling. There is no way to hide that anymore. So the only institution that seems to be holding hiring events where people actually get jobs at the end of it is ICE. And the New York Times went to one of these hiring events in Arlington, Texas to speak to people, ask them why they wanted to become deportation officers. But when you watch this clip, you will hear these people give a lot of different explanations as to why. They're going to say things like, oh, I want to be patriotic. I want to defend America. I want to guard the homeland. But let's be real. The only reason you're doing this is because of money. Do not pretend like this is some pursuit of justice. Do not pretend like this is some righteous cause. You need money. We are all struggling to find work in this economy. One of the few places that is hiring anybody and throwing money in their face if they sign a contract is ICE, and you need it. And even though you are telling yourself that this is patriotic, you are telling yourself that this is a great cause to be a part of, you're only using those talking points to convince yourself that this is not a job where you will be literally kidnapping people from their families. You will be taking that signing bonus and that student loan forgiveness, and in return, you will be asked to only target Hispanic people and then put them in cages for $100 a pop. Do not pretend like you're doing something that is good for America or something that is worthy of admiration. You are signing up to be a hired goon for a racist administration. Point blank, period.
We are at a recruitment fair for ICE. I want to talk to folks and see who wants to be a deportation officer and why.
I'm a college student.
Recently graduated.
A former flight attendant.
I did 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Doors haven't even opened yet, and already there's a line of more than 100 people waiting to get in. I saw this event advertised on ICE's social media account. The benefits they're offering are pretty extensive. There's an up to $50,000 signing bonus, $60,000 in student debt reduction, up to 25% overtime rate. The Trump administration is adding tens of billions of dollars to the budget and is trying to make immigration enforcement really the center of law enforcement in this country right now. This is the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's usually a space for gamers. Today, ICE is hiring for a variety of different positions. The lines have been the longest for deportation officers. That has the lowest bar to entry. College degree is not necessarily required, and ICE is trying to hire 10,000 deportation officers. The signage behind me says, "Defend the Homeland." What were the attractions of working for ICE?
I'm very patriotic.
You know, guarding America, guarding the homeland.
When I saw Uncle Sam pointing that finger, I just had it in my heart. And you're thinking, look at this guy. He's an immigrant. He wants to become a deportation officer. Doesn't make any sense to you. Makes 100% sense to me.
We're seeing a bit of the speed and scale that the Trump administration is trying to move at. They're moving people in and out assembly line style. They're offering drug testing on site, and they're even saying that you could walk out of here with a tentative offer letter to start a new job at ICE.
I was able to get an offer today. I accepted, and then I went and did all my process, my fingerprinting and my drug testing. Background check is next, and Then, of course, training.
There's a lot of criticism of ICE and its tactics in enforcing immigration law. You can hear the protesters behind me shouting at applicants as they walk in, calling them Nazis and fascists, and even identifying them by name. They're looking up people's license plate numbers. So are you worried about being called a Nazi?
You know, I don't mind risking my freedom to safeguard yours.
ICE has become kind of a really polarizing agency.
Is this a father and son? You get life together.
It reflects the big divides within America. It's a flashpoint for how people feel about Trump's mass deportation agenda.
We have to have an honest conversation because there is a reason why they want to reframe the conversation around slavery and try to convince people that it is not that bad. That's because this country wants to bring it back. I'm not being hyperbolic. When capitalism falls apart, when you get to the point where it does not benefit anybody, you go back to slavery. The thing that this country was built on that turned it into a global economic power was slavery. And when it was frowned upon, when it was too egregious for this country to continue, they ended it, but reshaped the system into what we know as capitalism. And now that system is falling apart because it is a snake that eats itself. When you constantly lower the wages but raise the prices, you run into this situation where eventually nobody can buy anything. But the rich and powerful are well aware of that, okay? And if you haven't realized it by now, okay, the hyper investment into AI, the exponential growth of AI is meant for the sole purpose of taking away all of those middle class jobs, those corporate jobs, those jobs that people had that gave them a functioning life and allowed them to live comfortably in the middle class. They're going to get rid of all those. All that will be left are jobs where you work for below minimum wage, you work for scraps or even food on the table, or slavery. And since they know that that is the ultimate plan, since they know that that's what they want to bring back, they need to start teaching people now that it's not a big deal. They need to start reframing the minds of our children that slavery is just the cost of doing business. Because I am sure that the plan is, in the next 20 to 30 years, by the time our children are adults, they would like this caste slavery system back in place. If you think I'm exaggerating, if you think I am being a conspiracy theorist, I challenge you to prove me wrong. Tell me what the end game is with everything we're seeing right now and how it truly benefits the American people for years, decades, or generations to come. Because all I'm seeing every day are more and more institutions crumbling and things that will take years, if not decades, to fix, going away overnight. And that is because the rich and powerful have decided that what they want to bring back is slavery. And they don't want you to be upset about it.
Okay, so I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work? Mitch, we get the kids to pick all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the 1st grade, and by 4th grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch, we find better ways to get the immigrants out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too hard, and we'll be too busy trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin, oh, like replacing the crops. Ha ha ha. Pun intended. Also, Kevin, I will work on getting the abortion banned. You work on state-funded religious schools. Mitch, we don't have to do either. Lindsay and I took care of that with the new SCOTUS.